This is Bedtime Stories, Grownup Edition, Queenpin 2.0, Bonus Episode 1, Part 2. When we left off in Bonus Episode 1, Part 1, we got some insight into how the Queen Mother felt shortly after Pops Andy's death, how she'd felt throughout their marriage about not being in the game, how she handled JR, and how she got Donovan together when she got back to Dallas. We also got more information about exactly what Donovan did to clean up that little mess with Christian Daniels. Got a peek into the developing situationship between Woody and Tru. When they finally tapped out and got a few hours of sleep, and Woody got that phone call from Q saying that he needed him to keep an eye on Donovan, and Woody told Q that he was still in Denver. Woody told Tru that Pops Andy was in the hospital and they needed to get back to Dallas. Woody didn't have independent command of the private airplanes accessible through the business or through Q, so they had to fly commercial. As they packed and prepared to head to the airport, Big Wood said, "So, continuing our conversation from last night, I'm not going to do the back and forth with you because you better at this game than I am, I see." Tru chuckled and said, "It's not a game." Woody said, "Oh, it's a game. But I don't want to play, little mama. We put in good work together. We had a good time. But we getting ready to fly back to Dallas. Well, we going to be around the people that we both love. And at some point, you're going to have to put in some more work. It's not a good idea to go into either of those situations unclear. I don't want this to end. But I ain't got a whole bunch of BS in me." Tru said, "And I'm a private person just like you are. I don't want to go back to Dallas and everybody know that we got something going on. Especially not until we have it all figured out." Big Wood said, "Agreed. Now, if you gonna be my woman, you gonna be my woman, and there ain't gonna be no secret. But for both of our safety in this business, it still gotta be low-key." Tru said, "So I'm gonna be your woman?" Big Wood said, "Only if you willing, and your heart is in it. I don't want you to do nothing because I want you to do it." Tru said, "And I don't want you asking me to do nothing because you think you're supposed to. I don't want to be with nobody because they looking for something. Everything that I create in my life, I create organically. From my poetry to my friendships to my romantic relationships." Big Wood said, "You don't have romantic relationships, remember?" Tru said, "If I open up my heart to you, you have to promise that if you don't want it anymore, you'll give it back. I already had one man take my heart with him." Big Wood said, "And if I open up mine to you, you got to promise to let it be whatever it's going to be." Tru said, "What you mean?" Big Wood said, "If you get pregnant." Tru said, "Don't get me pregnant." Big Wood said, "Come on, little mama." Tru said, "If I get pregnant, we going to have a baby." Big Wood said, "And you're not going to be able to be in the life." And Tru said, "And neither are you." Big Wood said, "I don't know why this conversation was so hard. Sound like we on the same page." Tru said, "No, we not. Because you trying to get me pregnant." Big Wood said, "No, I'm not. I swear I'm not." Tru said, "And the minute you start talking about making light-skinned pretty babies." Big Wood said, "Nah, all my babies gonna be chocolate like me. I don't know what you're talking about." Tru just chuckled. Then she said, "There's another thing we need to talk about, though." Big Wood said, "What's up?" Tru said, "I can't continue to do what I'm doing and I have a permanent place to lay my head when I'm on a break. Traveling is cool and it's fun, but I need a place to call home. And so do you." Big Wood was shocked. He had been enjoying the nomad life for several years. Since his grandmother died and Tasha got rid of their baby, he'd been going from hotel to hotel. Q had bought him a house in Dallas that he turned into a safe house, and he couldn't even think of a city where he could live long term. It was a bad idea to put down roots in a city where he was putting in work. And when he said that to Tru said, "When we were talking about places that we'd like to go and visit, and I told you that I've been to Bali, and you told me that you'd never been and you hadn't even done any work there, I immediately thought and then tried not to think that that would be the perfect place to have a little spot to get away." Woody said, "I've put in work in almost every state in the U.S. Never thought about having an international resident. You might be onto something, little mama." When they landed in Dallas, there was way too much going on for anybody to even pay them any attention. Woody was there to support Q and his family, and Tru was there to support Angela and hers. When they were in private, she was a rock for Big Wood, because he was tore up behind Pops Andy. And seeing his best friend going through it made it that much more real. Tru also checked in with Corey. Stephanie had delivered the baby, gone to the hospital, and dipped. She'd hopped on the plane with them when they were on their way to the DR, and then stayed on the plane and headed to Puerto Rico. So Tru took advantage of the opportunity to see her goddaughter for the first time and find out how she could support Corey. When Corey expressed his frustration and anger with Stephanie and demanded to know where she was, Tru said, "So listen, this is the thing. That is my best friend. She's like my sister. I cannot get involved in whatever this is between the two of y'all. I have no idea what she's thinking. I tried to talk some sense into her, but she asked me to keep her confidence, and I will. Now, I don't know how long I'm going to be in town, but for however long I'm here, and every time I come back, I'm going to be here to support you in taking care of baby Kari, and I'll do everything that I can to talk some sense into Stephanie. But please don't put me in an awkward position. And don't shut me out because I'm a rider, because I'm sure that there's somebody in your life who would do the same thing for you." Tru spent the next few days at Corey and Stephanie's apartment at the estate, staying in one of their spare rooms and helping him take care of Kari. Stephanie had named the baby Indira Kari, and Indira was Tru's older sister's name, the sister that she was closest to. And that brought Tru's heart joy, because she knew that Stephanie loved that baby. Her mind was clearly all over the place, but she loved her baby. Tru took lots and lots of pictures of the baby and sent them to Stephanie. And when she got the call from Selima to head to Venezuela, she hated to leave her goddaughter, but she was ready to go put in work. When she told Woody that she was leaving, they had a conversation and came to some agreements. Woody said, "So, you don't answer to me. I'm not your boss. But in order for this thing between us to work, and in order for you to stay safe, there should always be somebody who knows where you are, what you're doing, and with whom. My person has always been cute. That way, if something happens, my family can be clued in. Stephanie can't be your person right now." Tru asked, "Why?" And Big Wood said, "Because she doesn't have access to a phone. Many done cut her off from the outside world. She's restricted to therapy and training. That's it. She got to get her mind right and her skills up. And she can't put in no work until she get things right with her husband." Tru said, "Wow, that's what's up." Then Woody said, "The problem with me being that person is, what if I'm putting in work?" Tru thought about it and came up with an alternative individual. And then she said, "So how about this? If you got to play, you clue me in. If I got to play, I'll clue you in. That way, if you need saving, I can come save you." Woody said, "All right, little mama. But here's the thing. Even if you putting work in for Stephanie or Selima, you got to keep it honest with me. You can't leave nothing out. There can't be any secrets. By now, you should know that this is a need-to-know only kind of game. But when you intimately involved with people, it's the things you don't know that put you and them in danger. I can't walk into a job and find out that you on it when I get there. And I can't be sent in for a rescue and find out that you're the one needing to be rescued." Tru jumped on the private plane that Selima arranged and headed to Venezuela. When she arrived in Venezuela, Selima was waiting for her in a chauffeured car on the tarmac. And when she got inside, Selima said, "What's up, Dusty Boo?" Tru just laughed. Selima and Tru had been staying in contact with one another the whole time that she was in Dallas. Then Selima said, "So this is the situation. I got a phone call from my Aunt Jira. Apparently, she was kidnapped in Trinidad. She's being held, and the men are Hispanic. I recognize the voice of one of the men in the background of her last phone call as the head of a Venezuelan crime family. His name is Jose. Back in the day, I used to kick it with his son, Lil Jose. I brought a small team with me, and we've been doing everything we can to try to get a meeting, and it just hasn't worked out." Tru asked, "Wait, so he knows that you're the daughter of Samuel Baptiste and he's refusing to meet with you?" Selima said, "Of course not. I can't afford to let him know that I made him over the phone. So he has no idea who I am or why I'm trying to meet with him. The point is that he's refusing to meet with a woman. At this point, I'm trying to lay in wait and snatch his behind." Tru said, "Huh?" Selima said, "Yeah, I'm going to snatch him, and he going to tell me everything I want to know. And if we got to kill some people, then we got to kill some people. But I'm getting my Aunt Jira back." Tru said, "Now, is this the same aunt that flipped on the Queen Mother?" Selima said, "One and the same. She's also the aunt that knows a whole lot of my damn business. And I don't need her to flip on me trying to free herself. So it's best that I get my hands on her before she feel like she caught between a rock and a hard place." and she got to put me in a bad situation. Tru said, got it. But do you really think the best way to go about this is snatching the head of a crime family and killing people when you don't know where she is or who has her for sure? Salima said, I told you I heard his voice in the background. Tru said, right, but did you hear any other voices in the background? Did you recognize any other voices in the background? When Salima said she did, Tru asked, and were they all Venezuelan? Salima said, nah, I think they could have been Colombian, but I'm not 100% sure. Tru said, right, so it's probably a better idea to get more information before you make that move. I'm on whatever you on, but I'm just saying. Salima said, and this is why my father thought it was a good idea for you and I to stick together. But what else can we do? Tru said, if he won't sit down and talk to a woman, then you pull in a man who you know knows how to move. And Salima ran through all of the men that she could think of. And when she got to Big Wood, Tru said, well, that's probably not going to be a good idea. Salima said, why? Because you and him got a little thing going on? Tru said, no, because he's back in Dallas supporting your family. You do know what's going on, right? Salima said, yeah, I know. My uncle's in the hospital and he's not doing good. Tru said, right. And I'm kind of surprised that you're not there. Salima said, I talked to my Aunt Bella and she said she has all the support she needs and now I should focus on my work, and she has no idea what that work is, but she told me to focus on my work and she'd keep me posted. I talked to Q too, and he doesn't think that Uncle Andy's gonna make it, so I'll head home if something changes, but I gotta stay on this. Then Tru said, and it's probably a good idea that Woody stays there because Donovan is acting a whole and entire fool. It's taking everything for Woody and LJ to run interference between him and Q. Salima said, yeah, I heard. Matter of fact, Donovan would be the perfect one. Tru said, you think that's a good idea considering all that's going on? And it seems like he's got something else going on upstairs. Salima said, you don't know my cousin like I know my cousin. That man is good under pressure. When he has a job to do, he knows how to focus all that crazy on getting that job done. And then Salima called Donovan. Salima said, cousin, you good? Donovan said, no, I'd be a whole lot better if my father would just wake up and get his wife and his son together because they pissing me off. Salima said, so would it be too much to ask if I asked you to come where I am and help me with a little problem? Donovan said, hell no. What's up? Salima said, how about I send you a private and you come and I'll explain it when you get here. Donovan said, give me 2 hours. Then Donovan pulled Anya out of the family waiting room and into the hall. Then he signed and said, I need to leave town. I'm not really sure how long I'm going to be gone, but I got a friend who's in a situation and they need my help. Can I leave the kids with you? Anya said, you can, but I'm not comfortable with having them up here at the hospital. Anything can happen. The situation can change. So I'm going to take them to my house. And I'm sure that Ron won't mind taking turns watching them so that I can come up here and be with the family. Donovan said, that's fine, but do not leave my kids with Q, Angela, or Bernie. Do you understand? When Anya signed yes, Donovan said, or Maribel. Anya signed, Donovan, you're overreacting, but they're your children, so I'll follow your order. When Donovan arrived in Venezuela, Salima and Tru were waiting for him on the tarmac. When Donovan saw Tru, he immediately went into trying to put his mat game down. He said, you was looking sexy as hell in the DR. And that little work you put in turned me on, girl. You sure you don't want to? Tru cut him off and said, Donovan, we've been over this. I'm not interested. You crazy as hell. And you and I both know you in love with Maribel. Donovan said, the hell with Maribel. That's over with. It's done. That was the worst mistake I ever made in my damn life. Tru said, whatever, but whether you with her or not, I'm not interested, so cut the crap. Donovan said, okay. So what's up? Then Salima ran it all down for Donovan, And Donovan said, oh, this is my kind of carrying on. Let's get it. The only thing is, though, we're going to have to start over completely because it can't look like I'm picking up where you left off. That's not going to go over well. He's going to be suspicious. He's going to want a whole lot more information than we're going to be able to give him before he's even willing to agree to a sit down. So we've got to come up with another way for me to get in. Let's take a few days and observe and see if we can't identify a weakness, a vulnerability, a place where I can slide right in and fit in perfect. And over the next few days, they did just that. And then Tru got the call from Rennie. When she told the facility that she would give them a call back, she ran everything down to Donovan and Selima, and Donovan said, oh, this is about to get real interesting. I tell you what, give her a choice. Offer for her to either go back to North Carolina or come here with us. Selima said, hold on. We don't need nobody green coming in here throwing a monkey wrench in this whole situation. This ain't training day. And Donovan said, nah, you don't understand. Rennie got this brand of crazy that is absolutely perfect for this situation. Plus, that girl good with chemicals. You know that little concoction that old girl injected in dude in the DR? When y'all laid that play down at JR's little after hours spot? Selima said, yeah, the one that literally knocked him out instantly. Kept him knocked out for like 2 hours? Donovan said, yep, that was Rennie's recipe. I also laid down a play in Dallas that don't nobody know about. Dude was threatening the life and safety of somebody that I love. He was trying to essay her, and she managed to get away from him. She incapacitated him. She thought she killed him, but she didn't. And when I got there, he was well on his way to coming through and getting back up on his feet and perhaps going after her and doing even worse. And I used another of Rennie's recipes to incapacitate him for more than 10 hours. Then I hit him and put him on ice until I could come back later. And when I came back, he was still out and still alive. Then I transported him to an alternative location and got all the information out of him that I could. But first, I had to give him another one of Rennie's recipes to wake him up. And when he woke up, he was alert like he had just been taking a little nap. That joint worked like a charm. And then I had another of Rennie's recipes that made him sing like a canary. He told me everything that I needed to know to help ensure that nobody would ever know what happened to him right before I put his lights out. Selima said, oh yeah, calling people back and tell them she can come here. I got it. All expenses paid. Tru made the arrangements and Rennie was on a flight. But before she got there, Woody and LJ showed up. Before Tru left Dallas, she told Woody where she was going and with whom. And a day or so after Donovan arrived, she told him who all was there and what all had been going on. So when doctors said that Popsy Andy was definitely not going to make it and they had to put him on a ventilator in order to keep him alive, and the Queen Mother said that she was not pulling the plug without her son there, Woody and LJ jumped on a private and headed to Venezuela. Donovan left with LJ and Woody, and Tru and Selima stayed in Venezuela because they had to wait for Rennie's plane to arrive. When Rennie arrived, Tru made the introductions, and Rennie showed that she was still Rennie. She said, now Tru, you know I don't like new people. Who this chick?